Oh, I see Bobby.
Hey guys, Dennis here. Alex, Muddy Waters Search and Recovery.
Hello, everybody.
And Catfish says, "Where's the ones at? It's 7:31. Dennis had to run and get his drink and donuts. I got my drink, but I don't have donuts." And Catfish can bring us some donuts.
Yeah, he could. He could do that. He could come on one of our shows with us and talk. Talk about things.
Catfish.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
And Tamara wanted to be with us on here tonight. Unfortunately, she is not feeling well. So please keep Tamara in your thoughts and prayers that she gets to feeling better soon. I know it aggravates her a little bit when she's not able to come on live with us. And she always has an interesting perspective on what we're working on.
Yeah.
So before we go into tonight's topics, first off, next Sunday night being Easter Sunday, we will not be going live. The second thing is the 3,000 subscriber giveaway. We are working on that. Some of the stuff we have so far, there will be some Muddy Water Search and Recovery t-shirts. There is a lot of like fishing spinner baits. They're going to be put into lots. I made these, and Megan's going to carry these through Crooked Trail Designs. But let me make sure this one right here. This one, it's bluegill. It mimics a bluegill underwater. I've sent one of these out to other people when I did this full time. That lure has not only won several bass fishing tournaments, it's also caught the largest bass of those tournaments 3 times that I know of. So some really good lures there. We also have the soft baits. These are the rubber worms. These will be going to somebody in a package. And I have no, I'm not going to pronounce this right. Grtard. Gertard. This is it's a weird name.
Close enough.
But this is a magnet fishing kit. It's got the magnet, a grapple hook, the rope and carabiners, a pair of gloves, and the oil for the magnet. That will be given away on the live, and several other things in the works already. So as soon as we've got everything, we'll get that scheduled, get this live feed done, and get these items out to some of you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. And we have some other things in the work, so just stay tuned. We'll definitely have some nice things to give away. So it might not be well, I don't want to give any hints away yet. So whoa, I just seen something pop up on the screen, Dennis.
Yeah, there's a thing on here now where it'll pull the comments up on the screen like that, and
we'll Bobby
just current.
Bobby just said I was fat. Oh, not good, Bobby.
Hey, if being fat means like eating donuts, I'm fat too, then I'm proud of it. I love donuts.
I love donuts too. I took donuts to my grandchildren yesterday.
Mac Randall Jr. has a magnet kit, but still hasn't gone yet. You're missing it. It's a lot of fun. You never know what you're going to pull out. And a lot of times you just pull out random junk, but then you hook into something that's not. It's really cool.
Yeah, it's oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I would say, you know, the amount of, I mean, realistically, how many people do you think throw junk over the sides of bridges to get rid of it in the middle of the night versus stuff that just over time washes from floods and, you know, the rainstorms and stuff like that. So that's that. I mean, I bet you it's just from A to Z, you know, mild to wild when it comes to stuff you could pull out, you know, anywhere. I mean, not necessarily just on a bridge, just
Right.
even on creek banks and stuff like that. So,
And other teams like a Jeremy or Nug, different things that they have found, magnet fishing and stuff. Depths of History is another one. I
yeah.
mean, they're pulling firearms, safes. One of them pulled a motorcycle out.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no telling what you're going to find.
Yeah, absolutely. For sure. Got to find somewhere wheelchair accessible. Oh, well, yeah. That would, you know, I mean, I guarantee you could go to boating docks, fishing docks, and probably, you know, could be able to gain access for a wheelchair. And I bet more than likely there's still all kinds of stuff that people have dropped off fishing docks that, you know, that didn't retrieve it. Dirty mag yankers are near me. Is mag yankers, I take it, a magnet for fishing? Is that a company? I would think that's what that would be. Dirty mag yankers. Boy, try saying that fast like 5 times in a row. That would definitely. Bobby's got 2 magnets.
Hey, Bobby, did you use those when you would pull up sunken boats? If it was like a metal flat bottom, would you use your magnets? Which, of course, if it's aluminum, you wouldn't. But
Yeah.
so, guys, the other thing, the month of March, we had the unidentified deceased, the unsolved homicides, and then Chrissy done a series on missing Native Americans. And the views were actually pretty decent on those, but I've had several people reach out and want to see more of those. So let us know if you do want to see more, and we'll make sure to keep that content coming out to you guys as well.
Yeah.
And Max says that's a YouTuber near him that does magnet fishing.
Oh, okay. Wasn't quite sure where that was going for a minute there.
Hey, with Mac, you never know.
Yeah.
So, you want to get started on the first case?
Yeah, let's talk about the first one, because it's kind of crazy. Our cases tonight, which are older cases, this is going to be, I guess, how could we explain this, Dennis? This is going to be a situation where we have a case that there's all kinds of information, and then we're going to go to 2 cases where there is absolutely no information. There is nothing out there anywhere. There's nothing. There's just literally, this person is missing. This is when it happened. That's it. I mean, I've tried to research stuff, and not that I've had a bunch of time today since, you know, we added these 2 other cases, but there's just not a lot out there. And it's, you know, this is something I've kind of learned, is the older cases, you know, there was no social media. You know, there was no social media. The only social media there was back in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s was basically newspapers and TV and somebody that would sporadically just show up at your house and knock on your door. What we used to call guest. Very rarely does anybody show up at somebody else's house now just to talk, because we have every other way to communicate or do some type of live video to see something. So these older cases, the people, you know, the age they went, more than likely, some of these cases, well, I shouldn't say some, a lot of them, you know, unfortunately, the people would be deceased just due to age. So, you know, the other thing is a lot of the relatives from that time period, they are also deceased, or they are elderly in that high age range, and there's just not anybody talking about it. You know, an example would be the case that we went over last week. I mean, we had the lady that's missing's daughter, we had her brother, and then we had a distant relative on. We had 3 different people on that we had talked with about that case. Now, a lot of these cases that we're going to talk about tonight, the reality is they would have to be nieces and nephews so far down the line that, you know, what is the real true reality that some of these cases that there's people still, you know, around that would even talk about them or even have an effort or a want to try to find some kind of, you know, what happened to my relative, you know, what happened to my aunt, my uncle, my brother, my sister, my child, you know, my parents. So this is definitely something that we have been learning about as time goes by, that some of these older cases, there's just nothing out there. You know, the only thing we might see is something that was in a newspaper, you know, and there's really nobody talking about these older cases, which is certainly a sad, you know, by all means. But so yeah, let's get into the first one.
So first one, we have Billie Lynn Groff, missing since July 4th of 1977 from Hubbard, Ohio. 28 years old when she went missing, 5'1", 120 pounds. She was last seen by her husband, Ed Groff, near Westview Avenue in Hubbard, Ohio at 7:30 p.m., July 4th of 77. She lived with him and their 2 children, aged 10 and 7. At 10 p.m. that day, she was speaking with a female friend on the phone when she ended the conversation abruptly saying, "They are coming up the driveway. I have to go. I'll see you tomorrow." It isn't known who she meant by they, but her husband and children were away from home at the time, attending a community ox roast in celebration of Independence Day. The 2 children rode home from the event with their aunt and grandmother, and Billie wasn't home when they arrived at 11 p.m. Her husband returned home later and said he did not know of her whereabouts. He reported her missing 2 days later. All of her clothes and belongings were left behind. She's not been seen or heard from again. Her husband reportedly didn't seem very interested in learning of her whereabouts, and he gave the police a 4-page long manifesto that seemed to only list her shortcomings, in his opinion. According to the children, who are now grown, their dad told them not to talk about Billie. The children noted their father had a violent temper. One of the couple's longtime friends said that Ed was controlling. Another friend said Billie told her that Ed had hit her. She showed photos of a bathroom door that Ed had allegedly broken. The friend Billie spoke to on the phone the day of her disappearance said that Ed was very abusive and that Billie planned to divorce him. She had planned to bring some money to her friend on July 5th to secretly keep for her, but she disappeared a day earlier. On the day Billie disappeared, Ed's mother reportedly said she'd seen her son walking out of the woods with a shovel. And when he was asked what he was doing, he said he'd gone into the woods to dig up a plant at Billie's request. However, he hadn't dug anything up, and his sister did not believe his explanation. This case, Megan and Chrissy watched a TV show pretty regular. They got me kind of attached to it as well. The TV show called Cold Justice. And on the show, there's a veteran prosecutor, Kelly Siegler, and a homicide investigator, Tanya Ryder. They would travel around the country and help law enforcement work on cold cases. And they did go to Ohio and worked on this case. According to Kelly, the veteran prosecutor, she said that despite the stigma of divorce at the time, that Billie was actually excited about her future. She added that police always suspected that Ed may have buried Billie Lynn near his mom's house. I don't know the date of when they were in Ohio, but at that point, the Hubbard Police Department had lacked resources to execute a dig to search for remains. But then when the Cold Justice team arrived, there was a dig underway. They went over all the facts with law enforcement. But when the dig was completed, they did not find anything that they were searching for.
So
we also had the police department confirming that Ed was very abusive to Billie and that the divorce was in fact going to happen. When this team arrived at Ed's home to interview him, he declined to let them in and spoke through an upstairs window, claiming that, "I think you people are here to trick me." He did characterize his marriage with Billie as okay. He said they did not fight and that she blamed him for getting her pregnant in high school. The children had said that he had taken all of the pictures of their mom away from them. He claims he did not do that and that he wasn't upset about the divorce. He also firmly denied being involved in his wife's disappearance. And it's been questioned, did she take that point in time on July 4th with the family away? Did she use that point to take off on her own? Or did he slip away from the ox roast and maybe do something more sinister?
yeah.
I know what I've been able to find shows that she was really close with her two kids. She done everything for them. So to me, it's highly unlikely she's going to leave her children with an abusive husband and take off on her own.
But you know, just a couple weeks ago, well, no, it's been probably a month ago, did we just not go through a case? I mean, we didn't, it wasn't a case of ours, but I know we discussed it as, you know, between a bunch of us, but was there not a woman who just came out that she was living like on the East Coast and she supposedly just disappeared into thin air, and they found out that the husband was abusive towards her, and supposedly this woman loved her kids. I know this is going to come up in a minute who it is, but she was found alive and well living on the East Coast, and I'm pretty sure it was the East Coast, and she started her life over. I can't remember the woman's name, but she was in this same situation, and that's what she did. She just got up and left, and they had children, and she evidently was having issues. But it's good to see Miss Jennifer's back in the audience. For the life of me, I cannot remember what that lady's name was, but it was all over Facebook and TikTok and on YouTube.
Yeah, I did see a report that she was being taken into custody, but I don't know if it was related to her going missing like that. Now, we did have another case. This one, I believe, was out of Iowa, and the individual went missing. We were able to track this person down in another state and was told that they left voluntarily, wanted to get their life straightened out, get back on their feet, get cleaned off of some narcotics. Turns around, this person actually was with somebody else, was cheating on their spouse with.
Yeah.
So we see adults take off like this where they're not technically missing, but they are missing. And the reasoning behind it is just all over the board.
Yeah. So this is the woman right here. This is the one that went missing, and her name was Michelle Hunley Smith. She went missing 24 years ago at the age of 38 and was found alive and was reunited with her daughter, or was found alive and reunited with her daughter. Smith had left her home to go Christmas shopping in Martinsville, Virginia on December 9th, 2001, but she never returned home. She was located in February 2026 in Robinson County, North Carolina, after failing to appear in court for a 2001 DWI charge. So, I mean, okay, here's some more cases. Other notable cases. Audrey Backenberg, who disappeared in 1962 and was found alive 62 years later. Sheila Fox, found alive 52 years after disappearing in 1972. Tori Millisack, located alive a year after going missing, only to be arrested on an outstanding warrant. So, I mean, it can happen. I mean, people can leave and leave their children and walk away from situations. So, and I remember, some of the stuff that was around, this woman's case is that's kind of what it was talking about. But so the area of interest is the area of interest where the husband, Ed, possibly could have done something terrible, happened near his mother's home. Is that what you were saying?
They seen him, the mother and Ed's sister, seen him coming out of the woods there at their place with the shovel. And his excuse, he was digging up a plant for Billie, but he didn't have a plant or anything with him when he come out.
So what have you seen that's kind of information wise about that scenario? I mean, is there social media wise, is there people talking stuff like, hey, this needs to be really checked out, or it has it?
There's a lot of comments speculating that she is on the property. This is the same area that the Hubbard Police Department did a dig on, but this area also, there's a lot of areas in there that she could be. So it sounds like from what their dig was, it wasn't an all-out dig the whole property up. Just the timeline of the dig, they only dug a couple areas. So there is a lot of property there still that she could be on. And, you know, it is a smaller town. I mean, it's not tiny, but it's not big. And we do see those police departments, their budgets are really, really low. Resources are really thin. So I'm sure they done their best, but there is a lot of area there that still needs search.
I love you. I see you later. Have a good day, bye, honey.
Bye.
Bye. Love you.
Love you too.
And Jennifer is right there. There is the right to go missing. And I will say, you know, I get that and understand that. And for some people, that may be their last chance to get out of whatever situation that they're in. What bothers me with it is when somebody's been missing for years and years, but they're really not missing. They got to have, in today's world, they got to have access to social media. And if they do, they're going to see that law enforcement and others are looking for them. And law enforcement, already with limited budgets and resources, putting that money and resources towards finding you, when that could go towards somebody who's actually missing. With the right to go missing, I think there needs to be more public clarity that if you do take off like that, at least go to law enforcement, let them know you're safe, you're doing this of your own free will, you're getting out of a situation and you're leaving, because law enforcement's bound by law to where they cannot reveal your location to anybody as well. And we've seen that in some of our cases.
Well, we had a discussion a while back that, you know, where, you know, people go missing and evidently some people are alive. And like what you just said, you have law enforcement, you have different entities wasting time and money on somebody that is, I shouldn't say wasting time and money. They are spending time, spending money looking for someone that is supposedly lost and they're not. And we have discussed this before, you know, should there be a law that if you are purposely missing and you are withholding it, and, you know, some way, some form, should that person, could that be a crime? You know, and another way to look at it too is when we have talked about if someone is missing and a relative knows that this person is missing, but they are also leading on to this person is missing, but this relative knows that they are just fine, but they are hiding for some reason. Should there be a crime? Should that be a crime? Should there be something punishable by law when these people know that there is people looking for you? They are spending money. And just like what you kind of was hinting at, they could be looking for somebody else that truly is missing, but they're not. And whether people know they're not, or they are not, you know, sometimes I personally feel that there should be something, you know, just, you know, as you and I have discussed many a times, we've discussed it publicly out loud. This stuff costs money to do. You know, searches, you know, look at how much fuel is right now. You just go driving around one day working on a case, you're going to spend $100 easily on fuel, whether it's gas or diesel. You're going to have, you know, your equipment. You're going to have, if you have to go somewhere and stay in motel rooms while you were gone away, you know, what there's, I would think that there should be something, you know, just because if people are being misled looking for someone that's missing and they're not, I just feel that there should be something, but that's my opinion. So
seeing Jennifer has a good point here. I think fear is a big factor in people not notifying law enforcement. And I think that that's probably spot on. And my opinion is when somebody is found and this turns out to be the case, that law enforcement should look at every angle. You know, if they have a legitimate reason like that, then yes, you know, it is what it is. But if it's not a legitimate reason in there, then I think they should be responsible for everything that law enforcement has put into that.
yeah. I just feel that, you know, is the amount of, you know, and I guess in the bigger story, it's not so much as it's the money, it's just the time. You know, when you sit and you investigate cases, you know, troll social media looking for people that are talking about people. You know, that's you are being, and this is by all means, this is not our job. So if anybody's watching and thinks, oh, they're complaining about doing their job, this is not our jobs. So, you know, this is time away from family. I mean, Jen, look how much time Jen has spent doing her maps and the amount of research and information that Jen has had to transcribe. You know, she has had to look through notes and dictate, well, is this worth mentioning? Is this worth putting on a map location for someone that's missing? I mean, she's another person who has spent tremendous amounts of time working on cases, you know, and I don't know. It's one of those things where it's like, yeah, I hope somebody's not missing. And then you're like, then you find out that they were just living up the road because they had a argument with their spouse. So they decided to ditch town and go live somewhere else and start a new life. But they walked away from, you know, their spouse and their kids. And all these family members, all these relatives, you know, law enforcement, you know, investigators, you know, private detectives all think someone's missing, and possibly they weren't this whole time. That would be just crazy.
And she's got a good point. Added up over the years, it's like months upon months of man hours.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Billie's case, I did send an email out to the Cold Justice team, hoping they will respond. We'll see if they do, but hopefully they respond. I'd like to talk with them more about this. And
So out of curiosity, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
oh, you're good.
So out of curiosity, this show, do you have like a screenshot of the show of like the because I have no idea what show you're even talking about. Is it something that's on YouTube? Is it on Netflix? Is it on Amazon Prime? Is it on Apple TV? I have no clue this show that you and Megan and Chrissy have been watching it, and they went over this case, because I would actually like to watch it and see,
Let me grab one of the girls. They're going to know more about where it's at.
Has anybody in the audience, have they ever watched this show? Because I honestly have never seen it. I don't even think I've heard of it. And I do like watching, stuff on Netflix and Amazon Prime and, of course, YouTube. I love watching shows. I like to watch about the cases. I like to learn. I think it truly helps us when we watch other people do stuff. So I'm drawing a blank on this one at this time on what show this is. I really am. Oh, I see Bobby. Sorry, I didn't mean to hit that button. I just didn't know if you could bring up a screenshot or a picture, like a image picture of like the intro to the show or something, just so we could share it with the audience. Because, there might be somebody in the audience that might want to go back and look at it. Cold Justice.
And Megan says she thinks it could be found on Peacock.
On Peacock? Yeah, I don't think I've ever watched that show. But I
know, I think her name's Kelly. I know she is a bulldog on these cases. She does not let go when she gets on a trail.
Yeah.
And she also doesn't bite her tongue very often either. But some of their cases is unsolved murders, and then some of them are missing still today. They've been able to get several convictions. They have been able to help find some missing people with what they do. And I really enjoy, it does come across as like a reality TV show, but it is really good.
Yeah. So at this point, Billie and Ed, their children would probably be hypothetically 40s to middle 50s, middle 40s to middle 50s.
Yeah, because in 1977, they were 7 years old and 10 years old.
Okay. So maybe a little older, depending. So I'm just curious, with this case, this is the first time that, today was the first time I have ever seen this case of this lady. So, I'm just curious, is the children does anybody talking about it on Facebook?
I haven't seen their children.
No, nothing like
any
that.
Comments. I know this team did talk to the children, and then of course law enforcement has but I haven't seen them out publicly talking.
Is Ed still alive?
That I do not know. I wish I knew when they done this. I wish I knew when they filmed this episode, because he was alive in this episode, because
Really?
he would talk to him out of his upstairs window and wouldn't come to the door.
Oh wow.
And
Let's look. Let's see. Ed Groff. His real name is probably Edward. Edward Groff obituary. Let's see. 1939 to 2021. Newcomerstown, Ohio. Here's another one. No, that is not the right one, because he married somebody else different. What town were they from again, Dennis?
Hubbard, Hubbard.
Nope, not this one. Unfortunately, I'm going through the obituaries. Well, that one. Let's see. Here's another one. Let's look at his. Nope, wrong wife.
Okay. A Google search of him is showing that he is still alive.
Okay. So you what? Wait a minute. What year did you say they did the show on her on the criminal justice?
That I'm not sure. Let's see if I can find that real quick.
Well, I found some little clippets of it, but they're dated 2023. It's on the
Yes, it looks like it was 2023 when they done this episode.
So is that show on the Oxygen channel? Because I'm seeing the Oxygen channel logo in the screen.
It might be over there too. I haven't seen an episode. She said season 6, episode 24.
2 years ago, it's Cold Justice, March 31st, 2023. Oh, here's their children. Billie, Lynn, Groff's children recount the memory of their deceased mother with Kelly and the Hubbard Police Department. Don't miss an all-new episode of Cold Justice on Saturday on Oxygen True. Hey, he's gone. Oxygen True Crime Channel. Here's a lady 5 weeks ago. I grew up in Hubbard. Billie Lynn was my dance teacher and church friends with my mom. This still haunts many of us that remember Billie Lynn, although most, myself included, were only children at the time. This person says, I noticed the son's last name is different. Did he get it changed to distance himself from his father? This person says, I noticed that too. This person says that's his mom's maiden name. This person says 2 years ago, if his own mother saw him carrying a shovel from the woods and he was all sweaty, why haven't they put cadaver dogs in the area to where he was seen with the shovel? Love her show. Kelly's Crew is the best. This episode made me very mad. I can't stand this show. I won't watch it anymore. She never gets justice in the few that I've watched. So there's a downer right there. These are 2 years ago replies. Wow, Dawn and I are watching this one right now. We love Cold Justice. So much experience with this team. Did you look where the mother saw him coming out of the woods with the shovel? This lady says, this episode made me so angry. They had more witnesses to stuff than most other cases that get prosecuted. Sounds like a lazy DA. I'm sure they don't have a million homicides to try there. He has nothing to lose by going to court. He has one shot before people start to pass away, and then there will never be a chance. Really lame.
Seeing when at the end of all of their episodes, they always meet with law enforcement to go over everything that took place, any evidence, and then make the decision if law enforcement's going to take that to the prosecutor to see if they will move forward. Oh, when they did this, the police chief, Robert Thompson, agreed with her they might have enough. And when it went to the prosecutor felt that there wasn't enough evidence to move forward. And it's, man, I don't know. like Max saying here, you know, the guy's own mom didn't believe him. That says something there.
Yeah. Well, I'm definitely going to look for the show and the episode. Thanks to Jen. She's got season 6, episode 24. I'm definitely going to watch it. And maybe, you know, in the next week or two, we can have a little go over it again if we all watch it. Because I know you all have watched it, Dennis, but yeah, I mean, why in the world? I mean,
and I still think that property needs a full search done. Like the comments you were reading, you know, taking a cadaver dog team on that property, they're going to know if there's something there. And I mean, I get it, resources and budgets and all of that. But if you're going to go in and dig up that property the way that they did and just focus on a couple areas, you know, I'd have brought it. It's easy to say from here, but I would have took a cadaver dog in and seen if there were any hits and move forward from that.
But do you think there would be hits after this amount of time have been gone with decomposition? I mean, that's kind of hard to say because we don't know, you know, if that's truly what happened exactly. How was she put into the ground? If she was just laid in the dirt, I'm just curious if they would still be enough scent that the dogs would hit on it after this time period. The name of the show is Cold Justice, Mac. And it was season 6, episode 24 that they went over this case. I didn't know that. I guess I would think they would, but I guess I didn't know that for sure. Jen.
Did the husband have ties to police or the DA? That is interesting. I haven't found anything. Granted, we haven't done a deep dive into this one yet, but that would be something we would definitely be taking a look at.
Well, and they do have a Facebook page that is yeah, they're still posting stuff on it, so
And Jennifer, that is true. Some of the handlers I've spoken with say stuff along the same lines. The cadaver dogs can't single out a specific individual. There's certain things that they're trained to pick up, and that's the same basically universally. It's amazing how these dogs work, though. Just absolutely amazing. And fingers crossed, this year we may have a cadaver dog team coming in to search a few locations with us. And one of these teams, if they do come, we will get to at least use a drone to film and be able to show you guys a cadaver dog in action. And I mean, they are amazing to watch.
I know dogs are amazing when it comes to smells, stuff like that. I had talked with some people, and they were telling me about dogs have the ability to smell gunpowder up to about 40 some inches in the dirt. But anything after like 42 inches or deeper in the dirt, a dog cannot smell gunpowder, which is pretty amazing when you think of a dog's ability, to smell, differentiate stuff, all that. That's pretty awesome.
Well, Alex, do you want to do the case out of Parkville, Charles Heese?
Yes. Do you want to bring up his picture? Let me take a second here. It's going to take me a second to bring up his notes.
And this is one of the two cases tonight that there is very limited information out there.
Yes, very, very, very there's just nothing. So, okay. So Charles Terrence Heese. He was, well, let me make sure this is right. He went missing on June 5th, 1999. He went missing from Parkville, Missouri. Parkville, Missouri is roughly 20 minutes from where I live, 30 minutes from where Dennis lives, basically. Parkville is basically off of 435 on the... It's basically where you cross over the river on 435 between there and I-29, a 45 highway. And there is a nice little town there. That's where there is a college there. So he went missing from Parkville, Missouri. He was 44 years old when he went missing. If he was alive today, his current age would be 70. So he went by Terry Heese, Heese. But his legal name is Charles Terrence. He was 6'1" to 6'3". He was about 200 pounds. The date of last anybody had any contact with him, anything, was June 5th, 1999. It says Charles Terry Heese was last seen at his parents' house in Parkville, Missouri on the evening of July 5th, 1999. When his parents awoke on the 6th, Terry was gone. I'm sorry, June, not July, June. Terry was gone. His descriptions: he had black hair, he had brown eyes. He does have a scar, a mark on his lower back and his upper lip. Dennis has shared a picture of him. That is it.
Now, I did find with him that his pickup truck was subsequently found in a cul-de-sac on the edge of the desert in Albuquerque, New Mexico, approximately 800 miles southwest of Parkville.
Why is that? Why is that nowhere? Why is that not even on NAMUS? Holy moly.
But it does not, I do not have the date of when the truck was found. I would really like to know that date and see how that adds up with the mileage and then the last time that he was seen in Parkville.
Even his Missouri State Highway Patrol stuff doesn't even list that. Let's see. There's 10 comments on Reddit. Let's see.
Okay.
Okay, well, there's possible long shot match. Charles Heese was last seen at his parents' home in Parkville, Missouri on the evening of June 5th, 1999. When his parents woke up the next morning, he was gone. He was never heard of again. Heese's truck was subsequently found in a cul-de-sac on the edge of the desert in Albuquerque, New Mexico, 800 miles away. Sadly, the photo was taken 25 years before his disappearance, so it's really challenging to compare this the Doe network. However, the timing, age, and height work. Furthermore, I can see moles, but challenging to see if this is an exact match. Finally, the fact his car was found in New Mexico. So I'm going to click on the Doe network. I want to see what this is. Oh, it says not found. However, the timing, age, and height work. Furthermore, I can see moles, but challenging to see if that's an exact match. Finally, the fact his car was found in New Mexico after he went missing in Missouri doesn't make a Vegas a stretch as his final destination. This guy says, man, this is anything but a long shot. Look at their faces and the circumstances match along with the dates. Definitely submit this. This person put, whoa, I don't think this is a long shot as you may think. Even nose structures look similar. Wow. Eerily similar. Plus, he went missing right before JD was found, including the mole, assuming the picture is mirrored. I would be shocked if this isn't a match. This person wrote 4 years ago, he's got a nephew on Facebook whose profile is moderately active. Kind of see a resemblance in him, but hard to say. I noticed that his father's obituary says Terry preceded him, and the nephew did an angry face reaction. Facebook post about Terry could be something they've closed the book on emotionally, but if you're being bold, you could reach out to them directly anyways. Edit. Actually, maybe not nephew. Could possibly be a son. And if it's his son, his picture of him on his Facebook page. Is that the man with initials MDH? Yes. I think submit it. The blank of the unidentified man could suggest Charles wanted to take his own life, but did not want his family to know. They both have a mole, but one is on the left side and the other one appears to be on the right. Edit, the mole only appears in one of the photographs. I really want an update on this case. The doe had scars on both ankles of a similar length, which suggests previously surgery, which surely would have been mentioned in the missing man's case. His case says scars on upper lip and lower back, no mention of ankles. Visually, he does look very similar. I don't think this is a long shot. It seems likely. Please update us. Upon looking up the doe on ANNYMOUS, there is a postmortem photo where you can see he has a mole skin colored growth on his left above his upper lip. Charles Heese doesn't appear to have this. Only one of his photos shows a possible mole on his right of his nose. However, this doesn't show up at all in his other picture. I think it's possible it's either a mark on the photograph itself or perhaps a spot, pimple, mole injury. You know, Reddit is a crazy site. There's times I will read stuff on Reddit and I'm like totally blown away. And then there's sometimes it's just like it's just a waste of time. So it's a 50-50 shot if you really get some good information there. But wherever that link was that someone put to that doe link, it's gone.
Well, I'm hoping we can figure out when the truck was found, what road it was found on, and it's going to be interesting to see if we can get in contact with any family members.
Yeah. Yeah, so Spread Awareness Now shared his stuff, but only 3 people replied. 41 people shared it. One of them, I can't even read who it is who shared it.
And Jennifer says, but with the parents reporting, would they know all of his scars if they weren't visible or happened during childhood? I know I've got a lot of scars Mom and Dad didn't know about because of stupid stuff I do on four-wheelers and stuff, and knew better than to tell Dad because he would have rubbed it in.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Let's, let me read this real quick. Okay, so here is his father. His father is Charles Chuck Albert Heese of Parkville, Missouri. He passed away August 19th, 2021. So when you go down, it says he was preceded in death by his parents, 2 infant brothers, Jim and Mark Heese, and 1 son, Charles Terry Terrence Heese. So, at some point, was the son well, he was, I don't know if they can do that. I mean, you know what I'm trying to say, right? I mean, at this point, he's evidently been declared by this. You are made to feel that he's been legally declared deceased. He was preceded in death by his parents, 2 infant brothers, Jim and Mark Heese, and 1 son, Charles Terry Terrence Heese.
Okay. Charles was declared deceased March 19th of 2026.
Say that again now?
Charles was declared deceased on March 19th of 2026.
So literally just last week?
And that's on legacy.com.
I mean, that is literally
Wow.
not last Thursday, but the Thursday before last. If that was correct. So for those of you that spend time doing research, for those of you who do not know, this is how we do a lot of things, Dennis and I. We get on track of something, we start researching it, we're looking back and forth at things, we are, we're pulling information, we're reading stuff, we are, talking back and forth to each other about, okay, well, this is what this shows, this is what this is. And all of a sudden, why in the world does Apple TV pop up on my phone?
And this is the stuff that Tammy gives us a hard time about for like 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning doing.
Yeah. Come on. I think I figured out which picture they were looking at. Because I just found kind of the same thread on another page. And this was called, what am I on now? Websleuths.com. And they're talking about his case. Yeah, but there's really nothing anywhere that says anything about his vehicle being found. You know, the date.
Right.
I mean, it doesn't. There's nothing it says he went missing with a vehicle. It just says he went missing from his parents' house, basically.
Right.
Well, he was last seen at his parents' house.
Okay, now that raises the question, did he actually live with his parents? Did he live in New Mexico and was here visiting?
I don't know. Oh, this is one of these Crime Solver Central. I'm trying to read people's comments, but it wants me to pay. Well, I'm not paying.
Hey, I'll be right back. Lindsay's leaving, so I'm going to step out and say bye real quick.
Okay. Let's try something. Let me see here. Come on, phone. When was trust? Let's ask ChatGTP what it says about his vehicle. It doesn't. It says his truck was later found in Albuquerque, New Mexico, abandoned in a cul-de-sac at the edge of the desert. However, public cases records do not give a specific date for when the vehicle was discovered, only it was found sometime after his disappearance. Okay, let's see what this says. Says it was a full-size Chevrolet pickup, but the exact model not publicly specified. So I was on Chat GTP and asked Chat GPT, and I asked when the truck was found in Albuquerque, New Mexico. It didn't really give anything. And then I asked what kind of truck it was. And it just says Chevrolet pickup truck, full-size pickup, exact model not publicly specified. But see right here, I said, as of today, 2026, Charles Terry Heese has not been officially declared deceased in public law enforcement records. According to the databases like ANNYMOUS, the Charlie Project, etc., still status endangered, missing, case unsolved. And of course, I have been shut off from Chat GPT till tomorrow. Because I have used up all my free questions for the day.
So I wonder if we send a FOIA request out to New Mexico and give Charles's name and that we're looking for the date his truck was found. If we would
do it. Let's do it. We need a full-time office worker just to fill out these things.
Right.
Send them in. So I mean, it's definitely an interesting case. I mean, by all means, it is. Sometimes there's just, it's crazy how some of these older cases, there's so much, and then, 1999, and we hardly have anything. There's got to be some more out there. We just got to dig deeper. Definitely can always dig deeper on Facebook, because as many times as it's been shared, or I mean, it's not been shared a bunch, but we just need to look at it and see what else has been said, because I mean, You know, he's in the Kansas City metro area. You mean to tell me there's nobody talking about it? He had no friends. He had nobody that said, oh, Terry was a good guy. I was friends with him. No, Terry was, he was a jerk. He had people that hated him or something. There's got to be stuff out there. There's got to be people talking about stuff, to a certain point. So, well, do you want to move on to the next one? Oop.
Yeah.
All right, let's bring up the next.
And I've got the form saved to fill out to send into New Mexico to try to get that.
Okay. Okay. Gloria June Palmer. So Gloria June Palmer is missing. From what I'm gathering, she lived just north of me, about 10 miles, possibly up towards St. Joseph, Missouri. I've seen a couple things because it said Buchanan County, and then I seen something, it said Dearborn, Missouri, and Dearborn is the next town north of my little town. So I'm not quite for sure, but it looks more like it is St. Joseph, Missouri. So let's pull up her stuff. Okay. So Gloria June Palmer. She's been missing since June 29th of 1989. On the Charlie Project, it says that she is missing from St. Joseph, Missouri. Her birthday is 7/13/44. She would be 81 years old today if she was still alive. At the time of her disappearance, she was 44. She's 5'4" and 104 pounds. This is the clothing jewelry description of what she had on the day that she went missing. A pink striped top.
Messaging Alex now to see. Sorry, messaging Alex. Make sure he knows. Oh, maybe he'll pop back on here in just a minute. But Gloria was wearing a pink striped top, pink pants, white open-toed flat shoes, a 14-karat gold dinner ring with a 1-carat diamond, and a gold wedding band with 1 large diamond and 2 rows of smaller diamonds. An associated vehicle is a Mazda pickup truck, but it is accounted for. Brown hair, brown eyes. She has a scar on her calf and a mole on her neck. She was last seen June 30th of 1989 in St. Joseph, Missouri. Her daughter-in-law and her 2 sons celebrated her son's 21st birthday the night before and visited various bars until the morning hours. She wanted her family to go to a restaurant for breakfast, but they declined. They all left the Painted Pony Lounge and separated to go home. Her sons were driving right behind her as she drove her Mazda truck on Interstate 29 southbound onto Interstate 229 at about 2 a.m. She had never been seen or heard from again. Her vehicle was later found inside her garage at home. There were no indications of forced entry or no indications of a struggle. And authorities say that there is little evidence as to her fate and her case remains unsolved. And Alex said it has kicked him off again. Let me check my settings. He's wondering if there is a time limit on his side of it, or a guest coming on, and I'm not seeing one here. Okay, he's trying to get back in. And Alex, let me know if I need to send the link back over to you to come back up on here. But again, this is another case that I spent some time today trying to find information on. A lot of people have covered this case, but it's all just this exact same information. I haven't found anything new or anything further. Interstate 29 southbound, Interstate 229. We know where that is. Been there multiple times. And this is another one that's very close to us. Now, I do know that area does have a lot of wooded area around, and leaving a bar at 2 a.m. after visiting multiple bars, you got to wonder, did she have an accident and just hasn't been found? We have seen in the past where somebody is missing for years and they turn up found off in a patch of woods somewhere that their vehicle has remained hidden. Let me jump on here. Okay, so here's I-29 and 229. So she's coming southbound, gets over here on 229. What all is over here? Okay, so this is 19. Let me jump on to historical imaging real quick. I guess I can pull this up on here. So there's I-29 here in St. Joe, 229. You've been over on that side. So these ponds on this side of the road, it wouldn't really make sense. Let's see if let's see what this looked like in 1989. Okay, can't go back that far. So let's go to 91. There's a possibility, but after these years, you would think something here would have been seen, but that's not always the case. And it doesn't say how far down 229 she was traveling. As she gets over here, you know, you've always got the risk of the Missouri River there. Let's see here. Does it say on this? It does not. And again, we haven't seen this case until today. So there is a lot of digging we're going to have to do on this. I should be able to find the residents pretty easy after some digging. And again, this is one of those cases we will come back at a later date when we have more information on this and get to you guys. And if we do get locations of interest, this is definitely something we can do searches on this year. In fact, Charles, there's a lot of work we got to do on that. But this one, we do have some searches in St. Joe this year. And any locations of interest, we will be able to add to that and get those searched while we're up there. And again, I mean, this ain't very far from the house. For me driving, it's probably about the same distance there than it is to go to Linwood where Randy Leach is missing. And Alex, if you're seeing this, Mac Randall Jr. says this system just doesn't like you, Alex. This system, I used to have trouble with this system to where we would hit a certain time and it would boot us off. And the time was never consistent, and was able to go in, figure out, talk to people, figure out what the problem was and get that fixed. And now it's booting Alex out the last two live feeds now. Camera last live feed, she was still on here, but Alex had done just like it did tonight. So we'll see if that's an issue that we can get fixed and get that stopped. So guys, I do want to say again, next weekend being Easter weekend, we will not be doing a live feed. We do have some other stuff in the works that we will be bringing out for you guys very soon. We also got the weekend after Easter, we do have our first scheduled search of the year, and we will get to film this particular search and bring to you guys. This will be a ground search. We'll be doing like a grid search. Probably will deploy a drone, different things. It's an area we've been to before, and there are two particular cases we're looking at with this location. But we will get that search done. We're going to film those, get that out to you guys. Hopefully we're able to find answers and bring a loved one home, but we will see. So if you guys have any thoughts, anything on these cases, please go over to our website and fill out the form on there. Get that over to us. We're probably going to need your help on these cases, that's for sure. But with that, I'm going to go ahead and shut this down for the night. And I will be going live again at some point this week with some things. And we also have some other videos and live feeds likely that will be coming out to you this week as well. So make sure to stay tuned for those. So guys, thank you for joining us tonight. Jennifer, it was really great to see you again. Hope you're doing well. And we will see you guys down the road. You guys stay safe.